level after the Fossil going, the Fossil group bought over again. When I met the group head, I had no energy to do legal battles. I told Costa, I don't care, you bought it out. You have to give me an additional margin at my own retail, and that is what you owe me. I'm sorry, I built your brands here. You can't do this over and over again to me. What we did was, and I sat with Costa, I said, Costa, I promise you, 10 years from now, you'll be buying Aspen for $150 million from me. Is that too little? I was thinking, that's not much, just 100 crores. Just for your information, I hope in the next 4 to 5 years, I will have reached a turnover of 100 crores already. So this is what Aspen is doing. My retail has already reached that turnover. We're a little lower than that. So that's the purpose of the business, and how after Fossil I had the guts to go on with Aspen and Just Watches. The know-how of Indian markets, the support of the Indian markets and the organized retail, well established and the strong sense of aesthetics. My strength has been aesthetics. So all of you all need to find what is your core strength. So if you know aesthetic is there, that's why fashion was the best route to move forward in. Passion and motivation of the team. I am able to really motivate and get my team to be passionate. That is an extremely important part for your growth. A keen eye for everything beautiful. A woman's instinct to keep a healthy bottom line. I could have grown a lot faster. If it was my husband, he may have grown faster, but we may have had a negative bottom line. I am not ever ready to see a red on my balance sheet. I don't know what is right or wrong. My husband thinks we could have taken certain turns, but I didn't want, because at some stage that comes back to you if you have a loss. And financial strength is extremely important. Watch industry in India is at a nascent stage. The growth is only 8 to 10%. Aspen in the last year grew 173%, and my other brands grew 30%. It's due to the loss of the other brands that my company turnover hasn't grown. But this is the growth that we are having. So far higher than the annual growth of the watch industry. Due to the transition from these are the challenges that I'm going to talk about. And these challenges will come at different aspects of your business life. Trust me, business, I mean, not just the brand going away. There are a lot of challenges that you will have in your life during your business time. Due to the transition from distribution to retailing and brand building, the biggest challenge is the changed role of the employees. The employees were no longer selling a known product worldwide. They had to sell a product not known. So the entire training and thought process, from an easy job, I had to bring them to do a difficult job. Rebuild the base structure and SOP of the business. The entire systems and processes had to change. I had to get a smaller team to do a larger amount of work, and that required the motivation. There were hiring issues. Learnings over a decade. We have been in the watch distribution over a decade. Distribution is inherently risky with a certainty of continuance of rights, because distribution, as I said, and the brand reaches a prominent market position, the owner will come and take it away. Launch of own brand balances the risk of dependency on the distribution. But to have your own brand is extremely expensive. Aspen is far more expensive than when I do a brand. Today, if I manage to get, let's say, let me talk about an international brand that's big and not in a country. Let's say Michael Kors. Michael Kors is already known. It would be easier to build. I would have a faster turnover with less spend on it. While doing your own brand is more expensive. So when we decided to control our own destiny, we realized that we also needed our own retail. So along with building our brand, we rolled out our retail very, very fast. On retail, counterbalances a huge dependency on select key departmental chains. So a combination of own brand and own retail is what brought me here. By the way, let me tell you, you may think, that there was, when we moved back from the United States, whatever money we had, we put into a house. We were part of the Gitanjali group building the laser machines and the jewelry. When we did all these businesses, we had no funds. I told you I pledged my house to a bank to get funds in. So it's not that, a lot of people think, okay, you've reached this, there must have been. We did not have a sugar daddy. We did not have any funds from anywhere. Even when we were in the United States, my life was me and my husband. The way when we went there, he told me, I don't have anything, but I believed in him. That was again a gut instinct. His business in America was not doing well. He had a delicatessen store. Both of us would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, go out to work, and our life ended at 6:30. We'd come back. On the weekends, I would make the basics of all the food. At 4:30, he'd put the pressure cooker on, and the vegetables were chopped over the weekend. On Friday night, both of us would come back from work. It was fixed. We would go bowling or somewhere. At 2 in the morning, we'd go grocery shopping. We were young, married, so we had the energies. And that is when. Don't be lazy. When you have age is on your side, please go ahead and do whatever is required. Later on, that isn't there. On Saturdays, we would both watch a Hindi movie. In New York, you missed your country. We'd watch an Indian movie every Saturday and chopped French beans from tenli to bhendi, and I would have Ziploc packets of that. This was the life that we had. So, I just want to say, we had nothing and we made it. All you need is here. And I know all of you all have it. All of you all have it. Challenges. When we moved to our own brand and distribution was capital intensive. Trust me, M Square, when I started the silver, all I had to do was go to Italy, bring 50 designs, go to the department store, take the order and order over there. By the time the product came, I would sell to them. It was on COD. It was a fabulous business. And fixed, I had 75% markup on the product. Today, in the watch industry, you cannot have that markup. We work on so now we are working in a different aspect. It's a volume which brings you the overall business. So whichever business you do, you see the style that you have. You decide whether, in the business, when you're importing something, it's capital intensive, foreign fluctuations, foreign exchange. Today, the watches are priced at the rupee being at 54. The rupee is at 62. I'm sitting and making losses. In India, the government has so many rules, the weights and measures and all. I cannot go back and change the price of a watch that has been imported, let's say 6 months earlier. What we have to do is the new product we will price separately. What happens on the floor, you may have a product selling at 6 and you'll have a product selling at 6,500. You can't help it. This is the Indian government rule. And not only me, the same has been done by Tommy Hilfiger, same has to be done by Swatch, everyone. This is a sad thing. So what we do is we try to sell off the older price as soon as possible, and because you cannot afford. The foreign fluctuation is 15%. No one makes 15% margin at the end of the year. Constant markdowns. Today the industry has become consumer friendly. In the business that I'm running, we are actually earning for the government because the government takes custom duty and all the taxes before I even see the watch. And the consumer is offered and offered regularly because that is the way it works. Unethical competition. So a lot of people will bring in parallel products. It's a fragmented industry. A lot of other organized players also will bring in. But being a woman, that's one decision within jewelry and watches. We said every product, even if I buy, I pay VAT, and it's an official product on the thing. What happens is sometimes, since I was running the business entirely on my own, the sense of responsibility and total delegation, I wasn't able to manage, which I was talking that as of this year, I have let it go. What happened was in March, April, and May, we actually had a 20% degrowth in business. But it took them 3 months. I could have panicked and said, oh my God, I can't go out and do things I want to. But the decision I did was I finished Valentine's where we had the normal 60 to 70% growth, but March, April, May, being slower months, I let them do. It gave them time to train my team. I explained what they were doing wrong, what had to happen. Today we're back to 10% growth in June, and July I think is seeing a positive look. So I had to believe, I had to let them do. As I said, I'm 50. I cannot continue. This is the biggest mistake most people make. Of course, I'm not talking at the beginning of your business life, but every business, every person has to find a successor and train them. That fear of that person will learn and go away, you have the strength, they don't have the strength. You've got to train them. What will they do? They'll go, but you have the strength of the relationship with someone else. You can't hold on to things you cannot grow faster. Today I'm growing. Along with my growth, I know my company will grow. It's a long-term thought process that I'm doing. Of course, systems and processes within India, because when there's a staff change, and to get people to follow systems is a big thing. Lack of liquidity, fragmented business, I also spoke. Corporate culture, women are very bad at corporate culture, let me tell you. Because as a person, I'm extremely emotional and friendly, and my fault is, even if I get angry, the next minute I'm laughing. My children love me for it because they can come and make me forget that I've been upset with them. So don't keep saying there is something wrong within your side. Turn it around where you get more out of the employee. Employees are going to take advantage of your softness. To hell with it, let him take. But you also take something back from them. That's your style. Don't change your style. Okay? Yes, weakness in admin and operations, and that is why we got, as of the last 3-4 years, I got an administrator and an operations head. I did not like going day to day at the counter, ye glass barabar hai, light barabar hai. You reach a certain stage, bring in something, continue doing what you love. When you start doing things that you don't enjoy, it affects the business. I am very absent-minded. You must have noticed when I talk, I tend to digress, I tend to jump, I may repeat. That's my nature. I'm sorry, that's how I am. And I accept that. So there's a lack of follow-up if reports are incorrect. And for that, I have a system that I have, which Medha is going to talk about later. So it's a shortcoming. I found working towards it. Opportunities. Times of India has been behind me for a while to join a private equity. What they would do is they would take an equity portion of Aspen, that if ever I went public, they would get this much stake. What they need is my balance sheet, and they said we want this much. I have not joined up because I know I can build Aspen to a certain stage. They may ask for 30-40% of stake, against which they might give me 5 crores to build the brand. I could move Aspen as a brand very fast, but this is a thought process. There are a lot of people I've seen who jump in. Arey yaar, 4-5 crore milta hai, le lo. I'm saying before you jump into an opportunity, balance it out. What are you giving away? And this is when you dream. That today, by giving 30-40% away from, let's say, this much business, you say, I'm going to do 100 crores. When I give 30-40% now, so this kind of future thinking is extremely important, and planning. On duty free, since selling on Jet Airways and other airlines, and I've also spoken to other countries, Cathay Pacific and a few other airlines wants to carry the product. What I'm happening is that I have to go and make sure that my IP, I have, when I registered my Just Watches, Aspen and Justin Vogue in India, Aspen I've registered now in Hong Kong and China. I have to go and register it before I take it out to other countries. Because you don't want to build a brand somewhere else and then someone take the benefit away. So these are things when, if ever there's an opportunity, remember, do things right. You may say, I want to save lawyers' fees. Don't. Trust me, in the long run, hearing from others, and if you feel lawyer is too expensive, go on to Google, look into some other, go to Thai. People will be there who will help you for it. International distribution, Japan, who was selling Skagen, because Skagen was taken away from a lot of them, they all came back and said, Manisha, you've done a great job with Aspen. We want Aspen in Japan, Dubai, Saudi, and other countries. I am just waiting for the right thing, because I know when I expect, so when you get an opportunity, or let's say a Shopper Stop comes to you for your product and says, don't agree till you know your infrastructure planning is right. The first impression is the last impression. Do it correctly, make sure that you have the stocks, make sure that you have the display, you have the selling ability, and you can convince. Because don't let your brand go down. Make sure that people are impressed right at the beginning. Know-how of this is all established. My strengths, network and PR relationship, passionate, energetic, and I can motivate the team. There are very few employees who have quit my job. And every employee who's left me, I have cried. The employees that I let off, I found them jobs. And a few of them have even come back once I'm growing faster. And that is extremely important. I'm known as a water tap, and I'm not shy about it. Sorry. Strong sense of aesthetics, multiple ideas, number crunching. This is something my husband has a major problem with. Okay, Manisha, when I talk to you, it's not simple, it's this, jumping, and you always have lots of ideas. But within the group, I've been told I am never satisfied. Like this airport retail, why didn't a lot of other people think about it? Because whenever today I was on Indigo, I immediately saw products and I knew that I wanted to do it. And I haven't flown Indigo for a long time, so I missed it. But this is the feeling. Whenever your eyes should move around and you should have a constant mind that's, you should have a focus. This is what it is. My focus is I want Aspen to become the top 5 brands in India. I want it to be sold for 100 crores. And when I do that, I will inform everyone at TiE Nagpur. Strong sense of market, a woman's instinct to keep healthy bottom line. As I spoke, strong merchandising and buying, because that's what helps. And strengths in negotiation. I am known to negotiate. Don't feel shy. My husband says the guy will go away. Don't feel ever shy. I have the fossil group Vasant Nangya and says, hands off Manisha, you can drive a person crazy. I never stop telling him, you owe it to me. This brand I built, I will ask for more margins, I will ask for more stock, I will ask for more support. I build the brand, mera hak hai tumhare pe. I am not shy, and I'll say it in a joking fashion. And I'm not shy asking for my money. Today, a lot of people, when I'm selling products and the retailer doesn't pay you, you're asking for your money. Don't feel shy. Do it in a nice manner. But your money is what rotates your business. You involve them. Tell them that your money helps me in my cash flow and I need it. Don't think that if you push him, he'll find you too pushy and not take your next order. You've already done that. You've given a great product. He needs you. Create the need and ask for what is yours. Challenges to register brand in international countries is so expensive. I don't know. This is where I'm not confident. Will Aspen work well? I know I'm making Aspen for India. Will I be able to do a good job there? To do the product, I'll hire an office in Dubai or Hong Kong. I'll get manpower. Will I do it? I know I'll break these challenges, but I take my time when I take the big plunge. So since 12 months, I've been playing with this and working out all the positives and negatives. To export a product that is duty-free, and this is what I'm saying, any product and to export it out. So now what I have to do is I have a product line. I don't know what watch that country in Japan wants. That means I need to set up an office in Hong Kong or some other country where there's duty-free. I need to have manpower. So it's not so easy. So these thoughts, and I've already found a solution to tell you, is I met someone who's ready to do it for me for 5% of the business. And that's better than setting up your own office till you are confident. Logistics, same problem. Servicing international countries. People will ask for repairs and things. So these were issues. Creating a long-term relationship, major cash crunch, bank finance is too expensive and scarce, profitability versus brand building, outsourcing logistics, warehouse, and finance. I have done a lot of outsourcing when we had a tough time. Now it's again in-house. But when you don't have funds, do it. It may be a little more expensive, but trust me, in the long term, it works out in the beginning when it's tough for you. Because there's an expertise that you're bringing in as you're learning the skills yourself. Just for your information, there's a new brand, Escape, also that I've been mulling over, and we plan to launch this brand. I've already got the first line by 2014. It's a cheaper product, and expansion of Just Watches to 57 outlets, and of course Justin Vogue will be 28 stores. And as of this line, I just added, we just paid in the first amount of, we bought an international Swiss brand, which will belong, and it's registered in 70 countries. Again, on the Swiss brand, just to share, The person who came, the brand has not been operational for 5 years, but it was known, it was very, very big. What we did was, the employees of the brand believed in it. We made the employees buy 30% stake. What we've done is, if I buy 100%, I would not be sure. Today, the people who've nurtured the brand know the brand best. We told them, break your PFs, borrow money, and we made them put 30% in. And that is something where we have got the people who are selling also have an ownership in the brand. Things never go as per plan. You may have 100 business plans, you may have cash flows, things will change. No problem. Always be prepared with plan B and C. So always have the plan B, C. Control your destiny yourself. Remember that. When it is the darkest, light is around the corner. Trust me. Be passionate. Ideas don't pan out as expected. Okay, sorry, little duplication. As I told you, I've done this very fast. Don't let anybody tell you what will or won't work. You know the best. Take 1,000 advices. The last decision is yours. Don't get swayed. Being an entrepreneur is glorious. The feeling of creating your own niche is fabulous. And if you have the ability, do it. You know, when I was at the last get-together, there was, I forget her name. I don't know if you saw the panel discussion that I had with, she was the head in Kotak Mahindra, very high up. She decided to quit everything. She started an e-com with beauty. Has anyone seen that panel discussion? Please go on to the ties. I was amazed. I went back and I read a lot of things. There were in that same, the Mahakumbh of Mumbai, there was a great question answer session with Alok Kejriwal and others. Lot of learnings. Go on to YouTube and see these videos. And she gave up. She was really earning a lot and she decided to start an e-com site. And you know what she said? I don't know much about beauty. I don't know much about marketing. What I know is finance. And I know e-com is a big boom. She's partnered with someone who knows this, and e-com is where she's looking at private equity funds coming in later and cashing out. So you got to decide. And the main takeaway from you, never